Ian Somerhalder is in the house right here, South by Southwest Interactive.
What's up, guys?
The Warner Brothers television exhibit.
Yeah, man.
And you know how social of a show The Vampire Diaries is, but tell us what goes into creating something that's so connecting with the fans.
Well, I mean, obviously the network and the studio have helped and you have created these phenomenal abilities for us to interact with fans, because ultimately, without fans, we have no show. And so we're so unbelievably grateful for them. But what's cool is we get to do this. We get to connect. We get to actually interact with them in a way that you could not do 20 years ago. You know, actors didn't have that ability. Remember AT&T, reach out and touch someone?
Right. Ding.
Yeah, ding. But this is literally, you know, touching. Digital hug, I like to call it. And with that comes some really, really cool stuff. You know, the interconnectivity of fans, once they start interacting with us, and then they also go off into their own worlds where they're now interacting with each other, and it just builds and builds and builds and builds and builds, and then it's quantified by streams, by downloads, by live viewers, I mean, it's really, really cool.
It's the true community that's been established.
It is
all
a community.
Within this kind of thing.
It is a community, and it's huge, and it's global. Our show, Vampire Diaries, has, I want to say, it's literally like the largest online, or the largest social media component to it than I think any other show.
Do you happen to see any tweets or respondents from international territories?
Oh man, it's huge. That's half of it. That's literally, it's actually over half of it. For example, we were in China the day after Christmas, and I forgot, you know, you just forget sometimes. You walk out of the hotel, and it was amazing, man. And oh my God, the fans are so sweet, but I literally could not go from here to that wall. I couldn't walk, I mean, walking down the streets of Shanghai, it was intense. It was amazing, but it was I realized, wow, the outreach of the show is so powerful.
But then with that, as with any kind of great power comes a bunch of responsibility, right?
In an amazing, amazing, amazing way, you get to use that social responsibility for the best causes ever. And now, again, with social media and the interaction between the fans and myself, and the Ian Somerhalder Foundation, or even Riot, you know, this news site that we just started, you know, it's incredible that you can now transmit and transform all of this information for some really, really phenomenal causes. And that ultimately is changing the world. I mean, literally as we speak, it's changing the world. And we also get to say, hey, you know, not only do we want to collaborate, the studio, the network does it, the IS Foundation does it, we at Riot do it. You say, listen, we want to collaborate with you. We're not going to talk about it. Come at us, tweet us, call us, email us, scream at us from across the street. Give us your ideas and your collaboration with organizations, governmental bodies, individuals. Come at us. We need all this information. Let's share these ideas. And ultimately, that is really how we get stuff done. So it's powerful, man. It's awesome.
There were some fans here earlier today who, when I asked them what's one thing that they would like to talk with you about, it was actually about the global giving, the global impact that your tweets happen to have.
See, and that was probably a 15-year-old you were talking to.
It sure was, yeah.
And that in and of itself, for us, and I think for you, and I think for anybody standing in this room, that is where that is so powerful. And it starts with entertainment, and it ends with, it goes way beyond us. You know, as an actor or a character or a studio or a network, it all of a sudden goes into their hearts, and now they're empowered, they're inspired, they're activated. You know, they're not just talking just about a TV show. Now they're talking about, we need a recycling program in this little town in Ohio or in this town in Pakistan. I mean, these kids are literally changing their communities. They're making them better, and it all starts with this. It's crazy, man. I did this panel with Sophia Bush and one of my best brothers and founder of Riot. He said, you know, we were talking about, no, actually this generation is such an active generation. It's not Slack division, because each share, each retweet ends up leading to progress, quantifiable progress. That's huge. And social media has allowed that to happen. Without Twitter and Facebook, it would not exist. It just wouldn't. It would not exist.
Well, when do you think that the larger public will get to that same sort of belief that you have, as far as...
they're already there, man.
They're already there?
They're already there.
Perfect.
They're already there in droves. And I'm telling you, that online community, is not just digital. I mean, these hugs aren't digital. You know, on Saturday, this coming Saturday, we're doing a huge ISF. All the ISF groups are coming together in Atlanta, and we're doing this whole thing to go over our goals and stuff for the year. Man, I mean, these people are coming from all over the place. You know, we're in 100, and you know, we're in 150 plus countries. And there are kids armies, literally kids armies. It's called ISF kids armies, and these kids go anywhere from 6 to 15. And they are active, man, and they are little pit bulls. And I'm not kidding you. They do the most phenomenal work. And I want to say that there's about 1,000 groups around the world. And so you're not talking about, like, these groups, they may range from 1,000 people to 30,000 people.
Your words have that much more of an impact. Each tweet that you tweet out, each character, man.
Yeah, these are just ideas, you know, and they resonate with some people. And I think that the people who really just want the entertainment value, they eventually will either unfollow you or, you know, they'll still watch, but they won't be as engaged. And maybe they'll come back, you know, maybe they'll come around.
Right.
But you notice every day is a constant build of people who are so active and so inspired and so empowered that they get home, they get to go home, they get to watch a television show that they love, that resonates with them, that makes them feel something, and then they get online and they go nuts and they come up with all these phenomenal ideas, whether it's for their school, whether it's for their house, whether it's for their community, you know, because the idea is you want to, so it's a very simple thing. To think globally, you have to act locally. You have to. And so it starts with, you know, a 15-year-old who, by the way, in 10 years is going to be graduating, you know, Harvard or MIT or Texas A&M or any number of universities around the country, and they are going to be running the world soon thereafter that.
Sure.
So
it's such a strong cycle then that you're talking about as well. Starting very young, and it's a show, The Vampire Diaries. It's super entertaining and removed from reality in ways, but I love the idea.
Wait, it's not real?
It's not well, we didn't want to have a spoiler within this whole thing.
Bummer.
You wake up and it's a dream at the very end. But you've also got the entertaining side of the internet as well. And so what are some of the memes that you think recently have just been pretty fantastic that you've loved sharing with your friends and with fans?
One of my favorite ones that I just experienced was this damn grumpy cat.
Oh, yeah.
So sweet. So you're going to talk about the power of social media and just silly human things. This cat, in the last 24 hours, has had 52 million mentions globally.
He's competing with you.
52 million. Cat's almost got me. Cat's almost got me. 52 million mentions. I mean, if we can have that about this adorable, sleeping little, like, cat who I swear she was drunk, we should, you know, if you can take that and put it into any other context and any other solution-based piece of information, I think you have something. It's so huge. It's bigger than anything that we've ever seen. It frightens governments and yet exhilarates them. It bakes companies. It takes them away. I mean, it's, you know, it's the social media world taketh and the social media world giveth. I mean, it's what's going to work and what's not going to work, and it is amazing.
One last thing that we're going to ask you to give is to give some advice to any of those fans that are watching out there that do feel empowered and want to make a difference. What's the first step?
Well, I mean, I'll tell you, one thing that you can do, and in all seriousness, is that you can literally go to the isfoundation.org and you can, or .com, and you can literally look at all this information that we've compiled and find issues and problems, but you can literally start finding solutions. And then you can find people in your area, literally in your area, who are doing all these things and join up with them, whether it's a share or a tweet or a donation, whatever it is, it all helps. And I implore you, do it, man. Get activated and get inspired, because I'm telling you that there's a very crazy thing, this really kind of cool campaign that we're about to launch, but it's a big one, and it's called Generation Extinction. And it's a URL, it's a piece of intellectual property that we were gifted by a dear friend of mine and the Pew Charitable Trust Foundation. And the idea is that actually in 50 years, 50, half of all species on Earth will be extinct. 50%. It will be the largest mass extinction since the dinosaurs 65 million years ago. So this generation is ultimately the most pivotal generation in the history of mankind, literally the most pivotal one. So this generation can either stand by and watch the largest mass extinction since the dinosaurs, or they can step in and they can prevent it. And that is what I beg you to do, is stop that, prevent it, get involved, get activated. We can literally do it, but we need all those hands and feet. We need Grumpy Cat's 52 million mentions, okay? Grumpy Cat's gonna be extinct in 50 years if we're not careful.